Hello and welcome to the South America Challenge. After a 45-minute wait, we're finally in game, and this will be game 1 between Isurus Gaming and Union Gaming. And we're currently in the quarterfinals of the lower bracket, if I'm not mistaken. The winner is going to be going on to be facing against CMB for a chance to be inside the finals of this tournament. So let's see who it's going to be. I'm Grandis Feet, and I'm going to be joined by Coucher here on HeflaTV HB1.
Yeah, it's been quite a while once again since I've casted some South American or, well, American Dota in general, but definitely interested to see her. I think skill-wise should be somewhat even. I myself maybe would prefer Union Gaming a little bit because they have been looking reasonably solid in the past couple of weeks, but I mean, South American Dota, anything can happen.
For sure. I expect a close series, and I'd be the exact opposite, slightly favored towards Isurus, but as you said, anything can happen, and I think this should be pretty fun to watch. As far as our first bans coming out from both sides, we'll see Clockwork, Jug, Axe, and Troll hit the bin, leaving a lot of high-tier supports and a lot of heroes inside the pool, but these first four aren't completely unheard of as being first bans. I'd expect Isurus to prioritize the Sniper, but Union Gaming gonna first pick up an Earthshaker.
I mean, Earthshaker isn't the most common of first picks, but it's not too bad or too unheard of either by any means. It's just a really solid lockdown as a support. Every now and then you can also put it into the core role later on in the draft when it could work out somehow. But I think there's only a handful of teams who are, I wouldn't even say crazy enough, but adventurous enough to go for a core Earthshaker. As Isurus now, Batrider first, Vengeful second. No surprise that Vengeful was the second pick, just to make it so that Union Gaming themselves won't have the Batrider counter.
Yeah, definitely so. Although Fissure can be very disruptive for a Blink Lasso coming in from the bat, nothing really trumps Nether Swap in stopping that initiation. I'd expect a Sniper to come out from Union Gaming, but Slark is also reasonable enough. A hero that Union Gaming in particular, and a lot of South American teams do prize very heavily, so both teams going to be bringing some pretty good heroes to the table, although they are ignoring some ones that are very highly sought after in other metas, but for now this looks pretty standard, at least for these teams.
It's definitely not out of the ordinary. Looking at the next bans though, Anti-Mage even removed by Union Gaming. I suppose they could still run something like a Medusa as well. It's not like you have to ban the Anti-Mage out just because you want to go for a Medusa, but Medusa can still go into the mid lane as well. Maybe not as threatening to the opposition who would be in the mid lane for Isurus, but it's really not easy to kill a Medusa either if you're like the opposing mid laner, so might be something that Union Gaming is looking for, just go for a really solid late game lineup, for example. If not, Union, they do need themselves an offlaner, so Isurus, maybe even ban one out. Which is even the like scariest offlaner at this point in time. And Batrider is already there for Isurus. Is there even a scary offlaner considering the clock is also banned out?
I don't think so. Not in particular, at the very least. Another thing to keep in mind with this Anti-Mage ban is maybe that Union Gaming wants something along the lines of the Storm Spirit, and it's definitely not going to be the Deuces. They, in fact, banned that out themselves. Looks like Union Gaming are fighting for late game supremacy.
So, Witch Doctor also removed that. Oh, we're going to have a Disruptor. Huh. Disruptor is also used against Batrider quite often, just to get the glimpse back until Batrider gets his BKB, which in most cases isn't all that fast. But Disruptor is also decent-ish in dealing with the Slark. Just because if you get the glimpse on him, even if he pops the Shadow Dance, he will still get glimpse back and you can get the kinetic field. Try to just wait out that Shadow Dance if you can. So it's decent, but Isurus, can they be going for even more combo with the Disruptor? Highly doubt we're going to see Darkseer because they have a Batrider for the offlane, but I would love to see some just Darkseer in general.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool. Although I don't think we're going to see it this game. It does work pretty nice with Lina and Earthshaker, so maybe Union Gaming pick that up as their offlane. Although the chances are slim, I would also love to see it. I think this Disruptor more than anything is just there to be annoying to the Slark. The Static Storm is pretty hard for Slark to deal with. He can't pack that off, and can catch him out very easily, so also further securing that Batrider pick, as you already mentioned. Lina, the pickup for Union Gaming, presumably going towards their mid lane for them, still leaving them lacking a support and an offlaner.
So is Lina core a thing that Union Gaming run rather often, or is it just maybe a trending a little bit even?
Yeah, it definitely is kind of the flavor of the month way to play her, and honestly, I kind of like that better than running the Lina as a support. Getting early levels on this hero is absolutely wonderful, and also scales pretty well with right-click damage. Although not as scary as some other heroes, Lina's a decent semi-carry in her own right. And up against the puck, that's a pretty decent matchup for both sides. In all honesty, they can nuke out the waves at pretty even rates, and if anybody is going to kill the other partner without having support rotations, it's probably going to be that Lina. Although locking down a puck is always very difficult.
Yeah, before level 5, I think Puck may have like a slight upper hand in trying to get the kill, considering, or depending on if you get the phase shift off to just make it so that Lina won't land with one of her nukes. Otherwise, from level 6, of course, just Laguna Blade. So devastating, and like you said, Lina does like those early levels, and I think like over Lion, that's her biggest strength. Having a relatively low cooldown on Laguna Blade, even from the first level. I think it's 70 seconds on the first level, unless I'm mistaken, so just you can blow people up so fast, and 70 seconds, TP to another lane, just start helping out winning the other lanes as well, and go from there. At the moment though, maybe one thing that they're lacking a little bit is just pushing power.
Yeah, definitely. Isurus lineup right now, they're very damage light on pretty much all of their heroes, although Puck's burst is pretty nice. Firefly and Static Storm to give you some other AoE control, and the burst from Magic Missile isn't something to be underestimated. They don't have anything great in particular, so their safe lane farmer should be something pretty punchy.
Well, they do have about 30 seconds left, so not all that much, but should be plenty to for them to make time, because they had 45 minutes to try to figure out some of the drafts, but we're gonna have a Nyx Assassin. Is it offlane? Is it support? And well, doesn't matter to me which one it is, because I'm just not a big fan of a Nyx Assassin. I don't dislike the hero, I just don't see him having an impact, because I've seen so many Nyx Assassin games where the hero is just almost useless. Tries to go for that impale, just stops it like 3-4 times when the enemy is choking, and then misses it in the end anyway. It just happens too often.
I actually quite like it this game. There's not any other offlaners I think are going to do his job any better. It offers them another way to start fights, and right now Isurus Gaming's lineup is very squishy. Also, Spike Carapace is really annoying for Batrider to deal with, and they have a lot of AoE damage that the Nyx Assassin can Carapace to set up that Impale stun. So I think it's a reasonable pick, although maybe it's not the best. I think it's probably as good as it gets for Union Gaming's offlane. Of course, they'd love to have something like a Clock Axe or Batrider, but those aren't available to them.
Yeah, they definitely synergize a little bit with the Earthshaker, just setting up the Impale, I suppose, from a long range, so that's going to be pretty nice. Nyx Assassin, in most cases, may not have to just go for a straight-out Impale coming out from the Vendetta. He can just go for the Vendetta, extra damage, get the burst going, and then get the follow-up stun after the Fissure, for example. So that's definitely going to be nice if they can just land it like that. Other than that, if the Earthshaker is not around, landing the Impale and the Light Strike Ray may be a little bit hard. Then again, Lina, in most cases, does build the Evil Scepter, so can set up her stuns herself. But last bans, Rubik banned out by Isurus. So far, I wouldn't say they have anything like super worthy of getting stolen. Yes, it's nice to like get a Dream Coil, for example, although it's not that easy to just pull off. Glimpse can also be nice, and even the Static Storm, but there's like no Black Hole or Ravage or something.
For sure, but I think more than anything, they just want to protect themselves from the instant disable. The Telekinesis is great setup for LSA, the likes of the Nyx Assassin. Last pickup for Isurus, though. Already can tell you're a little surprised. It's a Bloodseeker.
One position Bloodseeker as well. I've seen a couple of Bloodseekers, but never have I seen one as a solo carry, I think.
Yeah, I was really expecting something along the lines of the Spectre that Union Gaming banned out. But yeah, Isurus Gaming's lineup is very reliant on picking up... Oh my goodness!
What?
Why not? Why not? Okay. So last pickup for Union Gaming is going to be a Huskar, and at this point, I actually like this pick. What do Isurus actually have that can stop a Huskar, or really be annoying to him? They can't actually kill him off, I don't think, unless Bloodseeker gets absolutely stacked. Although this does shake their lanes up a little bit, as I'm sure that they probably thought that the Lina would be a core earlier on.
Wow.
Sure, a great last couple picks should at least make the game interesting. Oh my goodness, to introduce our Radiant lineup, Union Gaming going to be running Payox into the offlane on the Nyx Assassin, mid lane Huskar by Desu, and our safe lane tri-lane is going to be made of Ben Hez playing on the Slark Nightmare on the Earthshaker, and last but not least, Baka on the Lina.
It's a little bit sad that Lina will be the support now, but it's definitely worth if the Huskar is the core instead. But for Isurus, their offlane will be Dulcemania on the Batrider, with DDX on the puck, leaving the tri-lane to consist of Algodon on the Vengeful Spirit, Naidera up on the Disruptor, and the last one is going to be fullback on the Bloodseeker. So Bloodseeker versus Huskar. I'm almost certain I have never seen those two heroes present in one game.
Yeah, definitely so. I really like Union Gaming's draft, all things considered. However, I think that they have a lot of tools that will let them snowball, and it looks like we're in for the flat armlet rush for the Huskar, opening up with Blades of Attack, and that's it. I've seen this a couple times actually in South American Dota, where you go like armlet into helm with no boots. Although I don't like it, we might be seeing that.
It's so funny how there are like so many different hero drafts as well as item pickups when you just go from scene to scene. Like, I suppose Europe and just like normal America may be the most similar to each other, but other than that, it's just, there are special quirks for every scene, I think. And well, Huskar and Bloodseeker, I'm happy that we got something out of the ordinary with the wait we had to go through to get to this point. So everything's fine, but creeps are reaching the lanes now. Lina, we talked about earlier, speculating that Lina is going to be mid lane against the puck. How well does a Huskar fare up against puck mid lane?
I think he does alright, but his opening startup is just so greedy, and his base damage is going to be a lot less than the puck, so he might struggle a little bit, but I think for the most part, both of his heroes should be able to farm. DDX's biggest advantage is that he's able to push out the wave a lot faster than Desu, and at this moment, the Huskar is really low when it comes to his regen. He might be opting into a very early point into Inner Vitality to help remedy that.
Yeah, you start with pretty bad armor as well, being only on one for Huskar there. If he does get the Helm of Iron Will going for that armlet, it's going to get a little bit better. Some health regen, some armor as well. Top lane Paux gets harassed by a Thunderstrike, a few attacks there as well, but Disruptor being only level 1, there's no real follow-up to that, and it's also like Bloodseeker, yes, he can be pretty nice, but his best tool in trying to help out to get the kill is get the silence, or never mind, it's not even a silence anymore. So you have to land the Blood right first to make it so that the Spike Carapace doesn't come out, which is definitely going to be hard.
Yeah, I don't think that's really a possibility. Although maybe if Payox gets a little too overzealous in this lane, they could kill him off. I think for the most part, this Nyx Assassin should be able to get his experience without dying. Although, that's going to be less than what the Batrider is getting out of the map, as I expect Dulce to go into the jungle pretty darn soon here. The Vengeful Spirit's preparing stacks as we speak.
Yeah, at least he has that available to himself, whereas Nyx Assassin, jungling really not his forte. I mean, you can go into the jungle as any hero really, but he's just going to be horribly slow. In the meantime, Baka will fight it out with Dulce, and Dulce forced to just Firefly away there. And that's just going to mean Firefly now on cooldown. He can possibly soak a couple creep worth of XP, but Ben has... He was just there, ready to pounce straight away when the Batrider came even a little bit closer. So Batrider, I think he's, by this point, given up on the lane.
Yeah, I think the course of action for the Batrider is just go to the woods. He got his level 2, and really for Bat, that's all you need to be able to clear up these stacks, and it's really nice for him that he does have so much gold waiting for him in the jungle. Nightmare looking for a fissure block is going to interrupt this pull through by the Disruptor, and that's going to force the lane to push back into the Nyx Assassin. There's not really much that the Disruptor can do about this.
So I'm just waiting for like viewer reactions on the chat, because we are working with a 5-minute delay after all. And they have not yet even seen the picks. It's so weird to work with a 5-minute delay, I have to say, but that's the case, unfortunately, with Union Gaming. Mid lane, though, Desu might be in some trouble if Puck gets a few more attacks in. It's like, was it really one more? Is there going to be a random Bloodseeker running at him? No, it doesn't look like it.
At the very least, Bloodseeker, there is some counter synergy with Huskar, since Huskar does want to be sitting at such low HP pretty much all of the time. There's always going to be stacks of Thirst onto Desu. He does have that Inner Vitality and a Tango to get himself back up to reasonable HP, and with that Helm of Iron Will that you were talking about earlier, he's actually healing at a pretty decent rate. DDX, killing off this Huskar is really hard for him, as when he's low, even at this point, he's sitting on a decent amount of magic resist, which Puck does rely to get kills.
So for Isurus, having the Bloodseeker as the just core position, what item build to even go for to just try to win you the game? Is it some early like semi-utility trying to get you the kills? Oh, we might have first blood here if they get blocks. They get the stun. Spike Carapace was used, but well, Blood Right will block off his path, which was really nicely done. And I think Nyx is going to go. No, what a Fisher!
Perfectly blocking off the entire enemy team. That really couldn't have come at a better time. Nightmare was on point. That'll save them from dropping first blood.
I was so certain. Now suddenly Tulsi finds himself Nightmare, but well, but rather even getting out-leveled by the Surf Shaker here. So back to the point. Bloodseeker, what item build to even just go for?
I really haven't seen the hero enough to know for sure. I'm not sure there's anything great that is going to just flat out win him the game. I think Isurus need to wait for Blink Dagger on Bat and Puck, and at that point just constantly get kills. And at that point it's up to fullback. And SNY wouldn't be bad, but I'm not sure if that's game winning.
It's really hard to say indeed. Maybe he's just gonna try to go for like a 4-staff, although it's definitely not gonna set you up for the late game. Just try to get a little bit of extra damage done earlier. It is really hard to say, like I said, just haven't had enough samples of that hero beforehand. Especially in that one position here, but he's gonna just quite possibly completely rotate into the jungle now, being level 5 already. Should have what it takes to just keep on farming up, get the life back from that Blood Rage, of course, and just leave a support on the lane. Disruptor, being only level 2, maybe gonna struggle a tiny bit against the Nyx, but even then should be fine as long as the Bloodseeker or the Vengeful Spirit is remotely close by.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do much else with this stack, or with the jungle, or Bloodseeker in the jungle, excuse me. But they do have a Rupture. They're thinking about dropping it onto the Nyx, but in the end, hold that. Not the greatest killing potential, even with that Rupture at the ready. It is worth mentioning that they do have a lot of spells to disrupt the enemy and pull them away. With that Rupture applied to them, with a Nether Swap coming out from the Vengeful Spirit, or with the Flaming Lasso, that can do a significant amount of damage later on. The item build for the Slark this game is going to be Hand and Midas. This Ben has picks that up sub 6 minutes.
It's definitely a bad choice. I mean, Slark, definitely a hero that does love those levels. Get the higher points into Essence Shift. Get the maxed out Shadow Dance as early as you can for the massive region. And they really don't have any rush, I think. Isurus, before they get those blinks on the Bat and Bat Right, or the Bat and Puck, they're not all that threatening at this point in time. And even if they get those, you know that if you just weather the storm, if you don't lose racks by like 25, 30 minutes in, you're probably going to be fine with the lineup that you have with the Slark and Huskar just kind of carrying your way through. And well, Huskar now does have his armlet finished about 6.5 minutes in. Definitely not a bad timing, and is exactly the item build you described. No boost, armlet first.
Yeah, it's very weird to say that it's like an inside the river area. Dulce gets pounced up, and that's going to be our first blood as Baka's there with the Dragon Slave to follow it up. I'm not sure exactly why he was sitting inside that lane. Meantime, Desu's going to go ahead and farm up some jungle creeps by himself. That's what that life break was. I was expecting him to go for something, but regardless, it was only a matter of time before we saw one of those kills.
Yeah, he life broke a creep like a minute and a half ago as well. I also saw his I heard the animation. I saw his health drop. I was like, oh, he's jumping Puck. Nope, just farming creeps. Anti-hype there, but Nightmare, he's been roaming around a hell of a lot on the Earthshaker. He did get off that one great Fisher block to just make it so that Nyx Assassin is not the victim of first blood. Other than that though, really haven't seen the Earthshaker do much. Oh, mid lane, Dream Coil comes out, Desu, he's probably gonna lose his life, or is he armlet toggling his way to victory, but now there's gonna be a Rupture, and with that, kill secured.
Yeah, Huskar just taking a little smidge of damage as he walked. I thought he'd be able to get an armlet toggle off at the very least, but I think the outcome's almost exactly the same. Isurus is going to get a kill, and now they might get a little bit more as DDX going to jump very deep into mid onto Nightmare. Can they turn for the Fissure? LSA going to be off the mark, and DDX should be home free, or maybe I spoke too soon. Fissure stun going to be there, and the Dragon Slave to get that kill. The Puck going way too aggressive in mid.
And well, does get punished. Oh, top lane, Glimpse comes out, but Spike Carapace makes him completely fine. They really needed an additional lockdown, which even the battery at this point in time does not have. Is about to hit level 6, but didn't have it quite yet. Up to 1.3k gold as well. So, does he have any more stacks to work with? Nope, just single camps everywhere, even mod golems in one of the camps. So it's probably gonna be like 11-12 minutes blink, unless he dies again.
Yeah, and that's not out of the realm of possibility. Dulce is slowed down quite a bit, but up towards top, Nyx Assassin has that Vendetta and wants to go into Nadera. With the Vendetta damage, they'll be able to get that kill very easily. Fissure coming out from the Earthshaker. Earthshaker is going to die to Magic Missile and the puck coming through. Pex trying to run out of here with the Rupture. There's nowhere to hide, and although he'll try to find himself into a corner, the vision granted from Thirst and just a couple more right clicks will be more than enough. They trade 2 for 1 up in that top lane, excuse me.
They should have expected the rotations to come as fast, or at least have the Nyx Assassin scout a little bit to the right side as well, see if anybody's farming up the jungle. Then again, now that I think about it, there is an Observer Ward there that I guess gives a reasonable amount of vision, so you should know if the supports are like extremely close by. But still, they just went so far towards the tier 1 of the dire side. They were just asking, oh, mid lane, life break? No, nothing else, just beautiful phase shift of the life break, so no damage taken at all from Puck. Huskar himself doesn't care that much, has the Morbid Mask now as well, so get some lifesteal.
Yeah, I don't think that Puck really has solo kill potential onto this Huskar. Even though the Lina has been played as a support, Puck is still getting a lot of levels on this hero. In fact, it's the 5th highest level in the game. Life break, again, over to creeps, my goodness, so if you could stop doing that, that'd be great. Even though it is kind of nice to get those creeps down faster. I don't know, that sound is just so jarring.
It's a caster's nightmare. It's like you try to get everything on camera, you hear life breaks, you're like, oh, something must be going down. And nope, just farming creeps, farming creeps. Move along, people, nothing to see here. In the meantime, fullback though, up to 2.1k gold. Could this be a Radiance incoming on this Bloodseeker? No, never mind. Purchases up a Yasha instead. I was like, whoa, that would be greedy. Top lane, there's a Dream Coil, Kinetic Field as well, but just runs out of it. Glimpse back. Shadow Dance, will it keep Penhas alive? I don't think so. He should be going down. 1 more pounce. Well, he may be able to outrun them, never mind. Thirst is his worst enemy at this point in time. Otherwise, with the Shadow Dance passive, being faster, regioning up, he would have made it to safety, but... Bloodseeker counter.
Yeah, that is another thing that we didn't talk about in the draft that is worthwhile to mention, that Bloodseeker is very good against Slark. They'll ping out the Huskar in mid, but he has plenty of supports. Actually killing off is pretty darn hard, and it looks like, at least for the time being, they're not going to do so, especially without Dream Coil. I'm not sure if that's a possibility.
Did he get the tower down though, Slark? Did he get the last hit for the tower that it is?
I'm not sure he got the last hit, but that was quite a time ago if he did.
Well, even then, Slark, with the Hand of Might, is still slightly ahead of that Bloodseeker net worth. Not by all that much, to be honest, though. And Puck, well, I would have thought he's a little bit closer to the Blink Tag, considering he has about 4k net worth, but did go for the finished up power test beforehand, so still about 1k off.
Yeah, it's still completely fine for Isurus, though. I think they'll be happy just knowing that they have a Blink Dagger up on their bat. That is, if he doesn't die here. Payax does have a Vendetta and the ability to kill off this Bat Rider if he has some form of backup, and I think that Earthshaker is all that he needs. Let's see if the Bat's going to get out safely. They're going to Vendetta, look for the big wraparound, and bump into the Bloodseeker maybe. No, full back a little too fast. For the time being, they're not going to see him. Now they do. He's popped the Q onto himself, but that might be his demise with a Fissure coming in from long range. Vendetta damage, Impale, Fissure, well, as the Mana Burn and a Dragon Slave from the low ground. Well-executed kill coming out from Union Gaming, operating like clockwork. Glimpse back on the Earthshaker. That might prove to help him. Kinetic Field might catch both of them, but it looks like it's only going to be Nightmare. They'll pull back Payox into the Static Swarm. The Nyx Assassin is going to be a fatality here. They drop a Sentry for good measure, but maybe that's not even going to help them much. Nightmare going to get silenced up as Laguna Blade's going to be dropped on the backlines. Flame Break going to kill off the Earthshaker as Huskar joins the fray. Going to jump straight into DDX, although he is slowed down by a Hellbear Smasher. That's going to be more than enough to kill off that Puck. 2 for 2 is the trade. Alkadanchan somehow survives. Laguna Blade not actually getting them a kill. The Vengeful Spirit was too far away.
It was also Lina lacking a little bit of mana there. He was lacking maybe 40 mana or something at the time of that Dragon Slave, so couldn't finish up the Vengeful Spirit. He came so damn close having the double damage. As oh, mid lane, Huskar, Rupture, no, they're waiting for it. Is it Nighttime Vision screwing him over? And now Desu, he wants to jump in return. Oh, the swap mid-life break. There's the Blood Right as well, and they're gonna secure the kill, I think. Nope, first Armlet Toggling comes out, gets himself a double. Well, never mind, Earthshaker got one, but that swap, it looked pretty funny, but Armlet Toggling plus Helm Dominator lifesteal, too strong.
Yeah, I really think that Isurus are going to keep running into this problem, however, where they just don't have the damage to kill off the Huskar. The Bloodseeker's physical damage at this point is alright, but not good enough. As long as Huskar finds those little windows, he can very easily abuse them unless they chain stun him down. I think that involves having the Batrider with his Blink Lasso at the ready. Nyx Assassin's hunting inside the Vendetta, but for the time being, can't find anybody. Nobody's farming up the Dire Woods at the time, and Peax is going to come out of his Vendetta.
So Isurus now have gone for a pretty bold move. Batrider purchasing a straight out gem to go with the Blink Dagger of his. It's nice, definitely so, to just get some map vision going to counter the Nyx Assassin with the Vendetta. If you lose it, however, suddenly a 900 gold investment down the drain. The enemy is gonna get vision instead. If they even want to use the gem, maybe they're just gonna put it back into base completely. But if they lose the gem, it can be quite crippling for them.
Three-man smoke down towards bottom lane, but they don't find a hero that they can very easily kill. They're going to look for the long wraparound onto the Huskar, not knowing, at least for the time being, where the supports are. They might have spotted out the Earthshaker, and this could be the kill that they're looking for. He's under his tier 1 tower, but that's not going to save you from this gank train. Looks like Isurus are going to go for it. Sticky Napalm doesn't scout it out. Nightmare's Haste has just expired. Nighttime Vision is being quite a nuisance, and, well, they're going to spot him out. But they decide not to pull the trigger. Isurus, the wraparound's still there. Puck gonna bump into the Earthshaker. Earthshaker, Blink Lasso's gonna vacuum him back in. This might just be an easy kill if they drop the Static Storm Kinetic Field, and they will do so. Deso's joined the fray with his Armlet. He's gonna eat the Bloodrite Silence, which is pure damage, doing quite a bit to the Huskar. He has his Armlet and is ready to toggle and ready to fight if they can catch anybody further out, but it looks like for the time being that's not gonna be the case. Blink on Slark is there, but nobody's close enough for them to fight. Isurus looking to catch somebody off guard. This is a 4v5 after all. Silence on the deck. Not going to catch anybody out as they rupture up the Slark. Ben has this over in the sidelines, but they can't follow it up. Slark going to survive as both teams are just in a really awkward posturing game.
It was a really good Static Storm Kinetic Field combo from the Disruptor, I think. Without that, had it not caught the Huskar on top of that Earthshaker, I think it was, it just would have been easy life break into at least one easy kill for Union Gaming in return. So Isurus, they're not looking all bad. I mean, 3 of their cores have reasonable farm, but Nyx Assassin slowly catching up, getting closer to his own Blink Dagger. Puck, though, only about 25 gold away from his. That Blink will allow them to play that much more aggressively, and they really need to start just racking up those kills, I think. Otherwise, they're just going to be left behind by Union Gaming.
Yeah, they do have the makings of an S and Y for the Bloodseeker, but with this pretty standard Armlet and a Helm of Dominator build coming out from Deso, you can farm up jungle very efficiently, and Slark's sitting on a hand of Midas, and even their supports aren't doing too shabby for themselves. Lina almost has a Yules for a support. That's a great timing. The Nyx Assassin's going to be working towards a Blink Dagger of his own, and even the Earthshaker has Tranquil Boots, Soul Ring, pretty much everything you could ask for at this point in the game. Right now, Isurus are the ones in the back foot.
Oh, most certainly so, but that Blink on Puck may be that just saving grace for them. Then again, there's even going to be a Yule Scepter finish soon enough on Baka's Lina. This Lina has definitely had a pretty great game, 3-0 and 0 so far, so maybe not the highest skill participation, but has been there when needed for the most part. But there is a 4-man smoke coming out. They're not going to even take Bloodseeker with them, but should be easy Blink. Then again, 2 heroes are close by. Maybe at least one of them will be able to survive. Maybe even 2 of them. Okay. Blink a little bit off target, and now with them in that under the tower. Oh god. Oh, the swap! Not enough still. The tower attack follows. Wow. I did not expect that gank to go that way.
Yeah, even if they get 1 kill, that's Isurus putting a lot of their heroes and committing a lot of their time to try and get that. Meantime, they're losing a tier 1 tower in the mid lane that Huskar mops up pretty easily. And Union Gaming, not only do they survive, they also get a return kill and force out a Vengeful Spirit swap. Really, that could have gone any worse for Isurus. They show off their Blink Dagger on the Puck, or at least I think they do. And that's pretty much the end of the story. Isurus really need to do something and do something quick. Huskar's going to be working towards a halberd that he's going to have very quickly. We do have that Yule Scepter flying out to Baka, or he already has that flown out to him, and Slark is still ticking away, currently sitting on 2,000 gold. Union Gaming, it kind of feels like their lineup's just kind of a ticking time bomb that Isurus aren't in a great position to defend against.
Yeah, I absolutely love that Huskar is also going for that Heaven's Halberd now, just because you don't care that much about magical damage. You're gonna have that massive resistance anyway from your passive, and suddenly you disarm the Bloodseeker and there's almost no physical coming out from Isurus either. So this Huskar should be able to just absolute man mode against Isurus, to be honest. Oh, we have a Blink Vendetta, only lands onto one. He's still alive, tower does go down. Where's the rest of the follow-up though? Ben does want to pounce Batrider, but doesn't quite get it. Now Pox is in some trouble in Static Storm, and suddenly 2 heroes down from Union Gaming.
Oh, and it's not over yet. Glimpse back is actually going to save Nightmare from the lasso, but not from his death. Isurus will mop that up in a really awkward fight coming out from Union Gaming. Laguna Blade and jump from Deso. They're going to turn and at very least get one. Desu's still in fighting shape. He has his armlet and is ready to turn around if they're not careful. Fullback is not going to get life broken on. It's still cooling down for 2 seconds. In the meantime, they lose their Lina. And making it a 4-for-1. Desu still surviving. I think he can get out of here, although with 5 stacks, 6 stacks now of that, excuse me, life break, very long range. Dulce kills off the Disruptor with fire damage. Now turns to fullback. Desu fighting like a champ, but in the end, the physical damage is enough. He doesn't get enough misses with that Heaven's Halberd. But yeah, a really sloppy fight. They blink in with a Nyx Assassin Impale only onto one, get Static Storm kinetic fielded, and lose their Nyx pretty much off the bat. The Slark also gets ruptured, tries for a TP out. Flame Break cancels that one. He was way too low to actually fight. Union Gaming just kind of trickle in one by one.
The amount of XP and gold they got from this is just ridiculous. 6.9k in XP, 3.1 in gold, and not only did they gain that much gold, Union Gaming lost about 800 gold themselves as well during it. So suddenly, if you look at the graphs, what used to be a 7.5k net worth lead is now only about 4,000-ish. XP though, from a 6k lead, almost just back all the way to 0. Of course, they still need way more fights like that if they want to just keep on contesting Union Gaming, but Union Gaming now, they are smoked up as free. Maybe not the best free heroes, but they should still be able to just blow one hero up completely. Vendetta, Laguna Blade. Not too many heroes can survive that combination.
And now with Desu as well as the Slark coming in from the sidelines, this could be a full 5-man jump. Blink in, Impale going to connect on to 3. The Static Storm is going to be on the mark, but it's not enough to save them. Blink in from the puck. She does get the silence off and will be able to burst down the Nyx Assassin, but with the life break, Nadera has nowhere to run. He's going to get burned down by the Slark and Huskar both. Double kill for Desu and a 4-for-1, and just like that, any advantage or at least comeback coming out from Isurus is completely down the tubes.
I mean, poor Disruptor got such a great Static Storm kinetic field, but by that time it was already a little bit too much. Fullback just got blown up, Laguna Blade landed on him, beautifully impaled by the Nyx Assassin, so definitely worth his sacrifice there. Getting that kind of a stun, setting everything up, Slark not getting caught either, just blink pounce. And suddenly Roshan is completely free for them to take. They have the easy tank of the Huskar in the front lines for it, who is up to another 1.8k gold. If you're the Huskar, do you just build like a full-on Satanic now? Do you go for hard for just innate tankiness, or...?
Blink in, DDX gets the Aegis snatch! And then jaunts out. Oh no, he didn't jaunt out. He's still inside the pit. It's not over yet for the puck. He's going to lose his Aegis. He kills off the Lina, however, and actually he's still not dead. He jaunts out over to the sidelines. He's going to get Mana Burn and Echo Slam for good measure as the rest of the fight breaks out over towards the north. Desu's on the high ground, stuck as the Huskar. He can't really toggle very easily, but he's got a light break over to Nadera. Nadera going to get burst down. That's going to be the Disruptor down. Now the Venge. Venge going to lose her life as Desu is still not done yet, but my goodness. Grand Theft Aegis coming out from DDX, and, well, he's still inside this fight with a DD rune. He's going to start focusing on Desu. Desu down! The Huskar is going to be dropped, and now Ben has also going to lose his life, and they might be able to get a full 5-man wipe out of this. No, Blink away from Payox is going to buy more than enough space, but my goodness, I was not expecting that to work in a million years, but DDX pulls it off.
What a back and forth game after that as well. Huskar, he was so long on the high ground there, and I think he just would have burned in the Firefly, although yes, Firefly doesn't do all that much damage to a really low health Huskar at the point. But Disruptor, had he not attacked him, I don't think Huskar would have gotten the vision to even life break anybody. Or well, maybe the Slark would have blinked there anyway, so it just would have come out a little bit later and maybe could have made a difference with Isurus surviving. But in the end, Bloodseeker, he's still there for the crucial kills, up to 2.5k gold now all of a sudden. SNY is finished. He had almost no gold before those kills there. And like I said, stealing that Aegis, massive plays from DDX. Otherwise, had Union Gaming just gotten a free Aegis, they would have backed off, regioned up, and then maybe even gotten racks with the Aegis quite possibly. Isurus now though, they even smoke up again. We've had so many smoke ganks already. They must be out of smokes, yeah, they are indeed, for another about 3 minutes 45 seconds on their entire side. But will the smoke even land on a target? Because for the time being, completely wrong direction.
Another silver lining for Isurus is that in the fight they lost in mid, the gem was somehow dropped inside Fog, so they're able to pick that up again. And Dulce is now using that to go ahead and look for wards, try to take away some control away from the enemy team. But really, Union Gaming, just a couple of sloppy fights is all that it's taken to put a large dent into their advantage. And although they're still in a pretty good position this game, I'd say, since I do like their late game chances a lot, especially now that Earthshaker has a blink, it's not over yet.
Oh, certainly not. So Venture Spirit grabs himself an invis as well. There is a sentry on Baka and he's gonna pop it down. I think Vengeful even saw it getting popped like that, it being daytime after all, so had vision over the river for himself. But he's hanging in the mid lane, maybe wants to swap somebody in. Nyx Assassin though, not the preferred target for a swap as it is, because Pike Carapace may buy him those couple of crucial seconds. And another life break to farm up creeps, up to 3.3k gold, and that's going to be a Reaver flying out.
Yeah, actually killing off this Huskar is going to become almost impossible. Although that last fight, they were able to pull it off, it took them a lot of work in order to get him down to that point. And I think that Desu would have survived, definitely if he had a Satanic, and even if he had just the Reaver inside that last engagement. Right now, it's almost impossible to stop him from using that Satanic, or at the very least burst him down inside the duration of a lasso, which is almost mandatory.
It can be done, I suppose, if you use the Blood Rage to just amplify the damage on him. But you would need like the Blood Rage on both the Bloodseeker for the physical damage and then the Blood Rage on Husker as well for him to take extra damage during the lasso, something like that. It's definitely not going to be easy, at least as long as Union Gaming has their other heroes close by at the same time.
And it's also so risky to Blood Rage a Huskar.
Oh, so that is certainly true. If you just misplay that situation and suddenly he gets free reign in the fight like that, you are more or less done for just one life break, a few attacks, one hero dead, bring the next one. Slark though has hit at level 16 now, has the maxed out Shadow Dance, getting really close to his Eye of Skadi being finished, only about 300 more gold is all he needs. So he's gonna have that Skadi, which is definitely gonna help out a great deal. Puck though in the meantime also up to a 3.1k gold mark. Is it the Hex you're looking for as a Puck to... I suppose Dagon is going to be completely useless because you are against the Huskar. So Hex, is it the best item choice for Puck next?
Hex or Shivas, I want to say, are probably the two ones that DDX are considering, but either way, you should probably spend your gold.
Well, certainly for now, at least liked pooling it up. It is somewhat hard sometimes to just get rid of... Oh, Slark has to pop the Shadow Dance and just TP out. Success with that. But there's a Satanic finished. And, well, Union Gaming, they're still hanging around. Dulce though, coming forward. They get the glimpse as well. Maybe not the best target, but the lasso is there. Static Storm under the Deso as well. And he's still alive, and, well, he's healthy as all hell. Has the Satanic, well, he popped it already, so a little bit of a waste. Baka in the back lines will go down to Puck, I believe. Never mind. Puck just escapes for now. Laguna Blade comes out. There is one kill, but Puck, can he save himself with the Yule Scepter? I wouldn't think so. Still getting chased down. Blink forward, one attack. Paux needs a little bit more damage. 1 second for the blink. Not gonna happen. Phase shift is gonna blink out now. Puck literally got away with murder.
Yeah, but even so, Union Gaming still have the Huskar on the front lines. We kind of saw their problem. They are able to lasso him down, but Desu is dropped to about half, and that's about all that they can feasibly hope for. I don't think the steam is out of Union Games' engine just yet. They can keep on going. Puck eventually is going to get out of enemy lines. GDX decides to TP out once he's well beyond their tier 1s. But at this point, Isurus haven't been able to seize any major map control away from Union Gaming, with the exception of the tier 2 tower and bottom. Everything else is standing pretty strong.
So Union Gaming, how big of a lead? Well, not a big lead at all. I suppose there haven't really been any massive team fights that Union Gaming has been winning or any extra objectives that they've been getting down. So it's only about a 2k network lead. XP, well, in fact, in favor of Isurus by about 2000 as well. So game is somewhat even numerically, but it definitely must be just Union Gaming feeling a little bit more comfortable with just the lineup that they have.
Smoke up again coming up from Isurus is going to get dispelled as they find Baka. Static Storm, lasso, that's a very dead Lina. Can they get any more?
There's a gem on the ground though.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty important pickup because of that gem, and they're still looking for more now. Just going to push down bottom, but there is no tier 2 tower for them to take. But yeah, as you already mentioned, Lina had picked up a gem, and that means that Isurus Gaming, not only do they have a gem for themselves, but now they also deny one away from Union Gaming.
Yeah, they just can put it into base, have it as a backup gem if Batter should lose his. And they're also, I think, getting quite a bit of gold on a couple of their heroes fullback, up to 3.7k gold. Puck already has the ultimate orb plus another 2.3 after that. So not looking bad at all for Isurus if they just can keep on going and try to just get those pickoffs, and maybe at one point they can just get the pickoff and have the lanes pushed out at a normal place so they can even go for more objectives. And oh, Slark maybe in trouble.
Potentially, he's going to get silenced up by the puck and now also by the blood right. He has Rupture onto him, but out of vision. He's going to be able to survive for a little bit longer, but not long enough. As soon as he comes out of vision, he's going to get magic missiled and brought down by fullback. Not really a spot you can be comfortable as a Slark being. I don't know, this doesn't seem to be a very good Slark game.
Somehow not. Of course, Bloodright did screw him over as well. First of all, Waning Rift landing on, even though you are in the Shadow Dance. He just couldn't Dark Pact at all. Waning Rift, by the time it was about to wear out, Bloodright came in with another 6-second duration for the silence. So really, you may even just have to think about investing into a BKB as a Slark here, just to make sure that you can actually stay in those fights.
Yeah. Also, Lincoln Sphere is an item that I'd like to see Union Gaming pick up, at least on one of their heroes, to somewhat counteract the initiation coming out from the Batrider, but those defensive items are going to take quite a while for them to pick up. Huskar looks to be working towards a BKB, and even though you go for those items, it is going to hurt your damage output quite a bit, especially on the Slug.
Most certainly so, and looks like both teams taking more of like a farming role. And whoa, we have an Aghanim Scepter suddenly picked up on the Disruptor. Does have the level 2 Static Storm as well. Of course, it being level 1 or 2 isn't that big of a deal because you don't really use that ultimate for its damage. But it's a little bit of extra addition as mid lane Vengeful might be in a hell of a bit of trouble. Blink forward, Fisher, he's waiting for it. There's the Fisher, Blink pounds to follow. Dragon Slave, no, the swap out. Still alive, Vengeful Spirit. Will he even die? I don't think so. Earns himself up. Ben has in some trouble as well, possibly ruptured up. Gonna get lassoed to the high ground. He's completely stuck, cannot survive. Laguna Blade, Life Break though. They killed the Vengeful Spirit finally. But that is by no means a worthy trade.
No, Rupture plus Lasso is a pretty scary combination indeed, and fullback's not had enough yet. Gonna drop a silence in mid, although it doesn't connect. They want to go for more, but on the backlines, Echo Slime on a 2, they blow up one, now blow up fullback. Double kill for Baka, and now it's their turn to go on the aggressive. DDX is still inside the trees. He's gonna juke around, and it looks like he's gonna find himself a pathway to safety as he blinks towards his tier 2. But what started out as a pretty bad trade for Union Gaming turns around and in a big way too, off the back of that Blink Echo.
Just so hard sometimes to think about Earthshaker as a support hero when you're pulling plays like that. It's just not many support heroes can do it. Maybe if it's like a Rubik stealing like Black Holes or Ravages or something like that. But extremely well done. Also Lina has been playing a pretty decent support game there. Maybe not the best Laguna Blades are not the best just target to go for those at sometimes, but with those kills here, they get the tier 2 down as well. They're that one step closer to getting a BKB on Huskar. Then again, there is a Hex now on Puck, which may be exactly the thing you need to kill off the Huskar. Maybe try to bring him a little earlier, then get the Hex to just get those finishing touches.
And also BKB is not the end all be all, since there is that Aghanim Scepter Static Storm coming out from the Disruptor, so regardless, it's going to be a nice item for Union Gaming, but maybe it's not going to be as nice as they really would have wanted it to be.
So Bloodseeker, I think we know now what item he's gonna go for. Picking up that not ultimate door, but I'm saying point booster. He's gonna go for the Eye of Skadi, unless it's a Bloodstone, which I highly doubt it's gonna be. Could it be thought of as a Bloodstone? Or would there be any merit in going for a Bloodstone?
I want to say no. Although it's kind of nice to be able to spam out your blood right, it's not really that great. And he does have an Orb of Venom next. So I think the chances that we actually see a Bloodstone Bloodseeker are very low. I think you do get flavor points for picking up that item since it does match your hero's name so well, but yeah.
Got to go for those flavor points. It's all a professional game is about, just getting those extra points from the viewers, the casters. I mean, I suppose if you really have like way too much extra gold, you can go for it if you can get it early enough, just because getting the charges, getting the lower respawn if you should die, it's definitely something. But yeah, it's like I said, not in general a great item on the Bloodseeker. Skadi definitely a hell of a lot better there. Gives you so much extra Chasing potential as top lane. Blink forward, enchant of them completely whiffs. Suddenly Bloodright is there, fullback, ruptures up. They're gonna get Vengeful Spirit, but Nightmare has to pop his ultimate, and yeah, even with the ultimate, no escape, and suddenly glimpse, Static Storm waiting for Baka. I'm not too sure if you should even try to just commit as much for just a Vengeful Spirit kill.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward. Union Gaming, although their supports do have a lot of burst damage and can look for those kills, so it's not over yet. Pac's gonna look for a stun. Can't actually get that to connect onto the Pac. Glimpse is not going to pull him back that far, and it looks like he's going to survive. In the meantime, Oscar got a life break deep onto Dulce, but he gets lassoed up in kind, and Benaz is dropping low, forced to pop the ultimate. He's taking a lot of AoE damage. He's going to survive for the time being, is able to get healed up by the Huskar. The Bloodseeker does mop up the Nyx, however, and now Desu's going to get chased down with the Scotty slow, and eventually S and Y slow. He's probably going to end up going down. Scythed up by the Puck. The right click damage should be enough, although it's not enough to save Nadera. He does end up falling after all is said and done. A 4-for-2 trade in the favor of Isurus.
Union Gaming, throughout the entirety of this game, they really haven't taken the best engagement. Of course, at the same time, they haven't really been going in as 5 ever almost. The one time they went in as 5, they killed off 4 of Isurus with only losing, I think it was a Nyx assassin at the time. So why they aren't just going as 5 to begin with? I mean, obviously their 3 heroes were rotating towards the top side anyway at the moment when Nightmare together with Paka jumped in on the Vengeful Spirit. Oh, forced it forward. They get the Yule Scepter. Can they get the stance to follow? Nope. Blink, Waning Rift stops the initiation.
And now Baka, as well as Nightmare, in a lot of trouble. Ruptured up, the Earthshaker can do nothing but stand still. They'll mop up the lane, just a couple of swipes of fullback's blades, and that's an easy double kill for the team. And on the backlines, they're also losing quite a bit. Blink forward by the bat. He's going to need a mana break, and that's going to do a lot of damage. Giving up for the Nyx Assassin, but yeah, it really feels like Union Gaming just aren't playing this as a team. They're going in these little, I don't know, attack squads, if you will, not actually as a full 5-man lineup, and then they end up losing those engagements because Isurus' counter initiation and initiation potential is quite immense.
However weird it might be thinking of as like, oh, your supports are doing well, sometimes it can be a downside, just because as we see now, the supports, having had a pretty decent game, knowing you have just a burst to kill off people in theory, makes them maybe a little bit too ballsy, just trying to achieve a little bit too much by themselves. And well, by now, I think they've gotten punished enough. They should be able to just say to themselves, okay, we've gone a little bit overboard with this. We just have to tone things down now, especially with the Aegis coming up onto the Bloodseeker. So Union Gaming, if they group up and just properly play as 5, they should still be able to win this game. And it's not like they're that far behind. Gold-wise, I'd say it's zeroed out after this Aegis now. XP is about a 7.5k lead for Isurus, but Union Gaming, like one good team fight and the XP is back to 0 or close enough.
Yeah, this kind of feels awkward, but if Union Game keep playing then the fashion that they're doing, Isurus' chances look pretty bright as well, since they do have a double life now up for fullback. Although his HP pool is a little bit deceptive, since he is going to be putting his Q onto himself quite a bit. It shouldn't matter. Now they look for Death. They're going to pull him back. He's going to eat the silence. And now Ruptured up, pulled away, going to be dropped down to half HP. His fullback wails on him, scythed up. The Huskar can do nothing. Although the Static Storm isn't that great, they still got the pick off that they really wanted. It's not over yet as they look for more. Blink and Echo Slam's going to obliterate the Vengeful Spirit. Now they look for Nadera, going to stun up fullback as well. He's stuck with his Q onto him. He's taking way too much damage, but that's only the Aegis. Bloodseeker going to be coming back shortly. Can he survive the second time? He's going to be chained up by the pounce coming out from the Slark. The Puck joins the fray again. They Laguna Blade up fullback. He can't get a kill to heal himself up with that Q, and now they look for more. Dulce is going to be Yuled up and stunned down by the Lina in a 2-for-4 trade as Union Gaming finally find a fight as their full team, although it wasn't in the way they wanted to.
Oh, Baka, he's still gonna lose his life. Lina went a little bit too deep. Chemda on the ground, and Puck is not gonna come in to retrieve this. It was probably, I think, in this fight the fact that Isurus, they used so much to kill off the Huskar, and suddenly there's no ultimate Hex on cooldown, and Slark and the rest of them could do whatever they wanted. Still, it's not that horrible of a fight either, because they did kill the Huskar after all. But this was Union Gaming fighting pretty much 4 versus 5, because Huskar really died without getting anything off. So next fight could go even better if Union Gaming are even a little bit ready for the Battleriders just jumping in like that. Do they have any ways though to just save the Huskar when he does get jumped like that?
If there was an instant fissure coming out from the Earthshaker, maybe. I think the bigger issue is that Union Gaming weren't in a great position behind that Husker when the pickoff happened. And even though they lose that fight, that's also Isurus fighting with Aegis. That was 2 lives lost on the Bloodseeker, and immediately after the fact, Slark gets a tier 2 tower top. This is not how Isurus want to be taking these engagements. I don't think it gets much better for them. And DDX, it's a Demon Edge item for the puck.
Huh. That's something I did not expect. But then again, knowing that Huskar's biggest weakness is physical damage, although he has a reasonable amount of armor as it is anyway. But even then, he has Heaven's Halberd, and if you get like a Monkey King bar, maybe you can just kill off the little bits of health that Husker is usually just armlet toggling himself on. It may not even be all that bad, considering it's like either just go for this and try to get some more damage done, knowing that you are lacking in damage otherwise for the late game, or just go for like a Shiva's card. And I think I actually like this aggressive route.
Yeah, I think it's alright, although the Shivas is definitely more standard and maybe a little bit better. I think the Monkey King bar might be the edge that they need. Isurus are pretty much in the same state that they have been for the majority of this game. I don't think there's really been a point where either team has had a commanding lead, and I think that the numbers probably agree with me there, as there hasn't been a lead that's higher than 7,000, and in recent history there really hasn't been anything major. Both teams are on pretty even footing. Very late Blade Mail actually picked up by Huskar.
Well, extra armor not gonna be horrible by any means, and I suppose if you get the Blade Mail off while you get lassoed, or just before you get lassoed, it may be enough. Well, you may still die yourself, but at least you will get the other heroes on Isurus low enough for the rest of your team to finish them up, kind of. Not too sure what to feel about that pickup though. I just think like maybe even like straight Heart of the Rask for the massive tankiness could have been better, quite possibly. Of course, a much more expensive item at it as well, so it's hard to say. Maybe even like AC could have been the pickup, but they are smoked up. Looking for something. Ben has himself that Basher as well on the Slark now. So if they find somebody, should be easy kills, but finding somebody is the harder part.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to be possible, as Isurus are grouped up pretty much as their full team, and there is no opening. Looks like they'll turn the smoke and just a straight push onto this tier 2 tower in bottom lane. The Nyx Assassin still sitting inside his Vendetta. Only level 2, however. He doesn't have 100% uptime onto this, and they might know he's here. Impale stun onto DDX. DDX is going to be brought down inside the duration of that one Impale stun. Desu not going to be locked down by the kinetic field, so the Static Storm really isn't very effective either. Can they catch any further, however? Even if they don't, Union Gaming, although delayed, you get a very important kill off the back of that smoke.
Since also the puck did go for the Monkey King bar, no buyback anymore. In fact, the only one to have it is the Bloodseeker for now. Does have enough for his own Monkey King bar, but considering that Union Gaming, they're going to be knocking at your just front door, you can't really buy up at this point in time and not leave enough for buyback, I think. Sometimes it's hard to just make that decision. Sometimes it's like, we need the item to even be able to defend somewhat. I don't think they're that far behind though at the moment. But even then, 50 seconds of wait time, it's going to be somewhat hard for them to hold on.
Yeah, tier 3 tower at the very least, I think is going to fall in the favor of Union Gaming. Desu, even without having real support, is still able to do a lot of damage. Forstaff can keep the bat away from that Impale, so he's going to avoid getting stunned, at least by that spell. Fissure, however, is going to keep him on the sidelines. The bat, for all intents and purposes, out of this fight. Payak's going to lose his life to the burst damage coming out from Isurus. They are fighting 4v4 at the moment, but Desu's still standing pretty strong on the front lines. He's going to focus down the range barracks as the Lina goes for melee, with some help coming out from the Slark. Union Gaming's lineup is a little too spread out, and the Earthshaker's still in position. He's going to avoid getting silenced, and, well, they are going to rupture up Desu, but it doesn't seem that he cares. He has the Satanic and is ready to turn, turns it on, hits a couple creeps, now back up to about 100% HP. The melee barracks getting dropped down to half. Isurus, if they want to save this barracks, need to fight now. They're going to open up into the Lina. Lina going to use herself defensively and blink out to safety. No vision means no glimpse. Nadira's going to look for it. He finds instead a glimpse onto Baka. Never mind. Baka is going to be dropped down. Union Gaming, however, do get a ranged barrack, so not all is lost for them.
Range tracks, of course, definitely the less important one, but even so, it's going to be giving a little bit of a momentum. If you're Isurus, though, you're kind of happy that it's the bottom lane, because it's not that hard to push it out and still be able to just contest Roshan or go for Roshan yourself. So that's like the positive for the dire side here. But Union Gaming, apart from the Lina being dead, they can still just go and fight. They have the Echo Slam. We've seen already quite a couple of good Echo Slams coming out from Nightmare this game. So Isurus, they definitely should not be feeling overly safe at this point in time.
No, definitely not. I expect our next major fight will be when that Roshan is up and running, although both teams do have a very threatening Roshan fight. With Batrider and Disruptor and heck, even Puck coming out from Isurus, they're very accustomed to fighting inside such small chokeholds, and also like the Nyx Lina, Earthshaker, no slouches either. Isurus, again going to smoke. Seems that every time that they have this item off of cooldown, they'll go ahead and use it and look for a pickoff. For the time being, however, they don't find anybody. The entire Union Gaming lineup is sprawled inside mid.
Yeah, Union Gaming definitely didn't want to actively look for fights. Maybe if they had proper vision, which at the moment, is there? Well, there's one ward on the map, and that is on the top lane. That's like, how the hell did this ward even end there?
Well, it was placed a while ago coming out from Isurus. I honestly don't have a good answer to that question. Both teams want to be getting some better wards out, and well, that's really hard, however, since we do have a gem picked up by Isurus, and that's going to stop any wards placed out by Union Gaming from really getting their full effectiveness.
Oh, hasted Husker. This could be scary if only they found anybody on Isurus.
Maybe they can. Lina's going to lead the charge. She has a blink Yules, so fullback walks up and gets caught inside Union Gaming's vision range. Could be disastrous. The smoke is going to expire. Ugh. Both teams are so close, but they don't know it yet. If Batrider went up the air, they could find the Huskar. They ping him out. Blink and Impale going to catch out the Batrider. They start focusing down Dulce. He blinks up to the high ground, but that's not going to save him. He's able to lasso up Desu, but he got the blade mail off first, and this Huskar's way too darn tanky. He's going to bring down the Batriders on the backlines. They lose their slug. Alkadanchin going to get Laguna bladed, sent to the well the hard way. Now the Echo Slam catches out too. Nightmare's getting cleaved down by fullback as this Bloodseeker is dishing pretty heavily. They'll bring down the Nyx Assassin in turn as fullback just wants to find targets to focus down. Now on to the Earthshaker with the Heaven's Halberd, however, now with no BKB, fullback is in a whole lot of trouble. The Huskar's going to focus him down, and Desu gets the full heal after bringing down that Bloodseeker. The only survivor is currently the Puck. Going to jaunt up to the orb, gets up to the high ground, and it looks like the Puck is home free, although for all intents and purposes, Union Gaming win that fight.
It definitely wasn't the cleanest one, and Husker had a little bit less uptime than he really could have. He was ignoring the Disruptor, for example, for a little bit of it. Just wanted to go for the higher priority kills as oh, Baka. Them jukes. Sometimes you can juke just by not moving.
Fair enough. I'm really confused by Huskar's build. This is the bootsless Huskar. He's going to go into an AC, replacing his brown boots. He's going to have a hard time actually getting up time, but for the time being, if an LSA lands, Puck's going to end up losing her life. Ghost Scepter, going to buy Baka some extra space. As Puck blinks out and TPs, will the burn damage be enough? It will! Desu gets a mega kill, and it's now focused down the tier 3 tower. Who needs boots when he can just hit the buildings? Tier 3 down, as they really need to commit a lot to kill off Desu. Buyback from the Bloodseeker, that could just be it. He's going to turn on the Blade Mail, PKB, jumps straight for the Batrider. Batrider going to be dropped down, burns down to the fire damage with BKB activated. Desu's going to be fighting like a champ, goes on to the Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit dropping down, burning, but now with the Static Storm Kinetic Field on the floor, he can't pop his Satanic, and Desu's going to die. Although does have buyback. Impale going to kill off one on impact. His Payox is currently invisible with no detection on fullback of the Disruptor. He's gonna live, are you kidding me?
That was so close for the Nyx Assassin. A few more steps, he probably would have been in the thirst range. So, not too sure if calculated or a little bit lucky, maybe a combination of both, but really nicely done. And Huskar just getting screwed over so bad by the Aghanims being there on the Disruptor. I think he himself was like, yeah, I have at least like another 5 seconds of fight in me when I get to pop the Satanic suddenly. No Satanic. Well, he did get off like a few extra seconds of fighting time there because he is still pretty beefy, but not quite enough. And now Thunderslug, up to 4k gold, can finish up that Abyssal Blade. And that is what he does. It should just make it that little bit easier to either lock down the Bloodseeker or the Puck.
For sure. Even though the Huskar gets the tier 3 tower, all of the barracks, at least the ones that weren't taken previously, still stand for Isurus Gaming side. Although it is a costly defense, it's a defense nonetheless. Although, I really would have liked to see Huskar pitch the Blade Mail and go for Boots of Travel instead. Or pitch the Blade Mail for the Assault Cuirass and go for Boots of Travel instead of, I don't know, dropping his boots. It's just so risky. 300 movement speed is not enough for you to move around the fights, and you rely almost entirely on being able to get the life break off. Fullback can be able to mop up an Aegis, and now they look for a kill. They get the lasso on to Bake. He's going to be pulled back into the Bloodseeker's loving arms as he cleaves down that Lina.
Yeah, Lina also one of the heroes that does not have buyback. Is only missing 47 gold from it. So it's gonna have it shortly, but Isurus, if they really want to force the issue, they may just keep on going. They have the cheese, they have the ages. They may not get a much better opportunity unless they're really willing to patiently wait for maybe like another smoke to appear in their shop, which is gonna be in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so not even all that long. If they maybe get like another pickoff, maybe on a slightly better target, let's say Huskar or the Slark. But this may be like one of their better options.
Yeah, fair enough. They're just going to be chilling, looking for a tier 1 tower in mid. It's about time that that falls down. I don't expect Union Gaming to look for a defense here.
So tier 1 goes down, most likely tier 2 will fall just as easily. I think Union Gaming though, it is only about 18 seconds on the Lina's death. And they may want to just set up a surprise gank, but Batterer has his last already. If they get the Huskar and kill him off, which, well, how do you kill this Huskar? I've seen it done time and time again this game already, but just look at this armor, look at this health. It should be almost impossible.
Well, it helps a lot that fullbacks with the Blood Rage activated, going to be hitting for upwards of 600 a pop with an MKB, so that Heaven's Halberd not bothering him too much. As long as Bloodseeker has his BKB to get the Halberd activatable off of him, I think they can do it. Although, in the duration of one lasso, maybe that's a bit of a stretch. But as long as they have the Scythe to follow up after the fact, Huskar needs a lot of backup in order to do it. Desu can't get caught out alone.
It's also just Huskar having 70 freaking % of physical resistance, so that 600 damage from the Bloodseeker is suddenly, well, about 180. It's like, wow, that's massive, to be honest. But, well, Isurus, do you even focus the Huskar? Do you try to guide him around considering he has no boots?
Yes.
I mean, life break cooldown isn't long, but it still should be doable, right?
Yeah, 12 seconds, I mean, that feels like an eternity when you're running around at 300 movement speed. They don't have the greatest tools in order to do so, but if they got like another Hex up for the Batrider after he gets his BKB, or maybe this is even a game to go for an Atos on one of your supports, since the Huskar is going bootsless. That could be crippling.
That is a brilliant idea, to be honest. I think Disruptor could be trying to go for one next. Oh, they get the glimpse, the Hex onto Huskar as well, but the follow-up not quite there yet. DDX wanna get swapped out, but there's the jump in, pullback, dropping way too low, Abyssal Blade as well. That's only the Aegis to Puck, does lose his life, but can they turn it around now?
Bloodseeker going to come back into the fray, but he's lost way too many of his allies. He's going to be forced to go down towards the back lines looking for Nightmare. Ghost Stepper's going to buy him a little bit more space. BKB going to save him from the LSA. Ruptures up Nightmare. Nightmare's stuck alone. They'll blink for it, pursuing after the Bloodseeker, but this man is running very quickly. Fullback, currently 584 movement speed, just cannot be caught. He'll be able to flame break down the Earthshaker, or, yeah, it is a flame break to kill off the Earthshaker. He does end up losing his life to the rupture damage of Fullback. Fullback going to run over to the sidelines and then look for a clean TP out. Is that really all that happened? Aegis down, Puck, Disruptor for an Earthshaker.
That was a hell of a lot less than I thought may happen from there, and to be honest, considering that the initiation was a little bit sloppy from Isurus, they were like, oh, we got the glimpse on Huskar, this is like our opportunity, but they were just close enough. Hex was kind of wasted as well. They didn't get a single point of damage. Oh, Blink Pounce, no! Well, that's a Bloodseeker without buyback.
Yeah, and now he's down for 94. They buy back on their Puck, but Puck's blown our full kit. DDX is currently on the sidelines as Huskar goes to town inside the well. We'll kill off the Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit down, and I think Union Gaming have done it, although there is a lasso to pull the Huskar as far back as they can. They're not even going to be able to get him into the well, however, and without that, killing off Desu is almost impossible, and even the well hardly tickles him. He's going to turn around, maybe. If he can get a life break off into Nadera, that would be a pretty easy
if he can get close enough.
Yeah. It's always the question, especially when you get Glimpse back. He's going to life break into the Puck, which did disjoint the Glimpse. He was magic immune during the duration of that Glimpse spell. But yeah, Desu can't actually stick onto a target, but they are 2 barracks up, and Bloodseeker's not here for 50 seconds. With the MKB, maybe they can kill off Desu. He's gonna go into the well as he has a Satanic. Why the heck not? Turns out the Satanic, he just can't stick onto any targets. Nadera is going to end up losing his life, and Desu is currently a raid boss. Look at that. That's absurd. He turns on his healing and now isn't even taking any damage. He's gonna walk back into the Static Storm casually and then walk out of the fountain. That's stupid.
Just because he can. That's why he did it, I think. He was just showing off how hard it is for him to die, or if he can. Well, he can definitely die. But if he armored looks correctly, he's gonna survive. And now he's gonna man fight fullback. That's not gonna work. Well, he does get punished for this, but GG is called anyway. And Huskar too strong, at least for a Bloodseeker to have.
Really crazy game, very back and forth, and in the end it's Union Gaming to just have their raid boss Huskar and end the game. It should be a pretty exciting series. We'll have to see how it closes out, but Union Gaming are going to be very happy that they're one game up. It's best of 3, and we'll come back with game number 2 shortly here on HeflaTV HB1.